WWE talent are frustrated, boys, with their role in the company. This is some major news. We got two of WWE's top stars admitting that they're not happy with the way they're being booked. Let's talk about it. So Montez Ford did an interview with the Daily Mail where he said the following, quote, "You've got new faces showing up on the scene, and our audience naturally tends to forget what we've done and how we've done it. In the now, it is at a point where it's been almost 4 years since we've been tag team champions. I'm not going to lie and say I don't sit here and watch all the comments and everything. I watch everything. We're not in conversations when it comes to top tag teams. We're not in conversations when it comes to anything wrestling related besides getting handled by the bloodline. And that doesn't sit well with me. So as well as it's going in terms of being my dream job, it is enjoying as it is frustrating." Now, Kenny, this is it just seems to be a running trend that we've seen with some talent. We saw Ricochet. He was frustrated with his role in Triple H's WWE. We heard this about Bobby Lashley as well. And now the Street Profits, man. What's your take on Montez Ford's comments here?
You said Ricochet. You said Bobby Lashley. You said Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins. There seems to be some type of common thread there, Big Om.
I wonder what it is, Kenny.
I have no idea. But you know what? I don't know. People have been saying like Triple H is not good at booking black talent. And I mean, it's a problem we saw in WWE for a long time until Vince McMahon finally, like something clicked in his head and he started booking these guys as they should have been booked. You think about guys like the New Day, like he put them in there in a gimmick to die and they made it work. He was like, you know what? You guys are like preachers or black choir members or something. And that's just not going to work. But they did. It seemed like he had the vision, but he couldn't really execute it the way he needed to. So they took it in their hands and they got it done. So you know what? I think that's what these guys actually need to do. They got to take it into their own hands because right now what they're doing, they're pretty much just New Day 2.0. And I thought that same thing when they came up to the roster. I'm just like, they're just more black guys on the roster dancing. You know, Montez Ford, it was entertaining for a while, but after a while, you got to figure something else out. And unfortunately for Angelo Dawkins, I think for Montez Ford, what he needs to do is actually split off and try to do his own thing. Sink or swim. Everybody says Angelo Dawkins is the weak link. If Montez Ford thinks he's a big dog, he's got to prove it.
Well, Kenny, you bring up a good point. We'll get into that in just a second. But first, we got to hear from our WWE representative. Throw the ones up for Triple H's booking. Brian, like Kenny mentioned, there's a running trend here, it seems, with some talent being frustrated with WWE. Montez Ford specifically mentioned new guys coming in. What are your thoughts on that part? Are new guys coming in and kind of taking these spots away from talent who've been there?
So the thing with the Street Profits, bro, is weird because I've been kind of wanting for them to pull the trigger on them for a little bit now. But the thing is, bro, I feel like they're not hot. And I feel like Montez Ford could go a lot further in this situation. But they don't want to let Angelo Dawkins let go of Montez Ford. Because if you let go of the two, Angelo Dawkins 100% gets lost in the shuffle. The Street Profits are still the Street Profits because WWE probably doesn't want to let Angelo Dawkins get lost. Neither does Montez Ford. I did watch the show with Montez Ford and Bianca Belair, and Montez Ford has made it very clear that he wants to be a singles competitor. He wants to be somebody and win the WWE Championship one day. And we've seen flashes of that. We've seen what he can do as a singles competitor. But the reality of the matter is that there's only so much space for each wrestler, in any company you go to. If they were to go to the competitor right now in AEW, would they be somebody? Probably not. Maybe they'll be hot at the very beginning of their debut and get lost in a shuffle again. It's just one of those things, bro, where it is unfortunate. I just think that they need something new. They tried something there with Bobby Lashley, but I also think that was like dope at first, but it seemed like WWE completely dropped the ball and Triple H wasn't booking it well. So it's one of those things, bro, where I definitely feel their frustration. They've been here for a while. They haven't seen the titles in 4 years. And it was going back and forth between Judgment Day and the Usos. I mean, Hey man, the Bloodline also has a big thing in that, bro. They held both titles for like what, 2 years or something like that. Like that don't help the case neither.
But Brian, I gotta push you on a little point here. The question is, have the Street Profits not lived up to their expectations, or has Triple H held them back from their full potential?
I mean, bro, it's not like they was doing much under the McMahon regimen either, was he?
Ooh, they were, bro. I don't know. They were hot, bro.
They were
talking
hot.
about Montez Ford being not a world champion, but like a guy, a real big singles guy, and we just haven't seen that movement. It just feels like, bro, and I'll let you speak in a second, but it just feels like with everything Triple H, man, it's that slow burn, but then a lot of the undercard stuff gets lost in the shuffle. It weirdly reminds me of like the wrong things about like 1997, 1998, like WCW, where they had that really like stacked upper card main event, and like they let the undercard guys do their thing, but there was no storyline focus there, right? So I don't know, Brian, but like I think there's a little bit of that going on here.
Fair enough. I agree with you. I think that this is one of those things, bro, where it's again talent not being booked well. I don't think it's nothing about them not living up to it. I just don't think they've been put in good spots neither. I can't remember the last time they were put in a meaningful match. You know, so I just saw them in NXT like maybe 3 weeks ago, actually. So,
but I said that Pizza Hut, what was that Pizza Hut match they had on that PLE one time?
Yeah, bro. Like, what are we doing, man?
Kenny Bomb.
I mean,
go for it.
I'll say, to be fair though. So who was in charge when they were with Bobby Lashley?
That was the end of McMahon. That was the end of McMahon into Triple H. That was like into Triple H.
I think Vince McMahon gave them a shot there because, you know, it was putting them in a different position to shine with Bobby Lashley, who was just coming off of being a WWE champion. But honestly, the guys didn't perform well. You saw Montez Ford kind of putting his mean face on, and it just kind of looked like he was putting a mean face on.
They're too likable.
They're too what?
They're too likable. They did a heel attack and the crowd still cheered them because Bobby Lashley, the fans were refusing to boo Bobby Lashley.
Stone Cold was very likable, but he got the fans to boo him. Now these guys aren't Stone Cold, let's be fair, but I mean, I think you got to be able to play both positions. If they put you in that spot where you need to be a heel, you got to do something to make the people hate you. I think the problem was Montez Ford was just too animated. Like it was just too, like Matt and Nick Jackson. Those two, I cannot take them serious as bad guys because they're too animated. And just like them, I just can't believe him when he was trying to play as a bad guy.
The thing with Montez Ford, though, and I agree with you, like, but it's because he's so animated and he's so likable. I don't get why they haven't turned him into like a babyface single star. Because, like, yo, honestly, I speak from the heart when I say this. One of probably my favorite wrestler to just watch what he does in the ring, like strictly in the ring, is Montez Ford. Because the way this man wrestles is crazy. He's flying all over the place. Boys, like that running start he does from one corner, like over to another corner, like, and then like jumps off and like literally flies to the outside. It is one of the craziest spots I've seen in wrestling. And he does it like every match he has. How is that dude not on your radar as like a single star 4 years later after they came onto the scene? We're still doing the same stuff with them. This, to me, is an indictment on Triple H booking. It's an indictment on their ability to focus on things. Because at the end of the day, it's Triple H's job to figure this out, man. If he's not figuring it out, then we got no one else to blame. Because they haven't even given either Dawkins or Ford. And Dawkins, I believe, is capable of being like a singles like star to a point, but Montez Ford is like the guy, man. I still do not understand how you don't like pull the trigger on him when it's all there. All the talent is there. He can work on the promos. We can get to that level, but like the matches this guy can have is crazy. And we're just sitting here like, oh, well, he's still a tag team wrestler. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here, Triple H?
But Big Om, I think the problem is, like you say, he's so good in the ring. These days, everybody is so good in the ring. So you got to have that little extra piece, I feel. Bro, like.
He's special.
Promo fire.
Special, man. I'm telling you, bro. Like he's something else to watch. And I'm just mad at Triple H, all right?
Who's more special, Big Om? Bianca Belair or Montez Ford?
I mean, come on now. That's unfair, right? Bianca's historically special. Shout out to her.
And shout out to y'all, too.
Oh, Kenny beat me to the punch. You go for it. Take the outro, bro.
Make sure y'all let us know in the comment section. Is Montez Ford WWE Championship material, or does he need to shut the up? Let us know in the comment section. Thank y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, and kiss that ring.